The story begins on an ordinary evening in 1978. Two siblings, Sahil Arora and Suman Arora, had just finished school and were waiting for their bus to go home. Suman was getting impatient because her brother was late. When Sahil finally arrived, she scolded him and asked him to hurry, fearing they would miss the bus. Unfortunately, the bus left just as they reached the main road. With no other option, the two children began trying to get a lift from passing vehicles. Eventually, a private car stopped and gave them a lift. After reaching home, Suman got ready because she had to go to a radio station. She had been given an opportunity to sing on the radio. Her mother lovingly put gold earrings on her and sent Sahil along with her. That evening, their father Ashok Arora proudly switched on the radio and even called relatives, telling them that his daughter would be singing. But the entire program ended, and Suman's song never came. Ashok became worried and went directly to the radio station. What he discovered shocked him. Neither Suman nor Sahil had reached the station. He immediately called his wife Mona and asked whether the children had returned home. Mona said she was waiting for them, thinking Ashok would bring them back. The family realized that the children were missing. The police were informed, and S.I. Jaiprakash arrived at Ashok's house. Ashok was a senior army officer who had played an important role in the 1971 war, while Mona was a school teacher. Because of the family's status, there was considerable pressure on the police to find the children quickly. Jaiprakash collected their photographs and other details. He suspected that the children might have been kidnapped and asked the family to stay near the telephone in case the kidnappers called for ransom. Soon, the telephone rang. Everyone feared it might be the kidnapper, but instead, they received information that two bodies had been found, and their details seemed to match the missing children. Ashok and the police immediately rushed to the morgue. Thankfully, the bodies were not Suman and Sahil. Meanwhile, Jaiprakash began investigating criminals who could be connected to the kidnapping. He arrested a criminal named Raja. After questioning him, Raja denied being involved, but suggested that the Birju gang might be responsible. According to Raja, the gang had a hideout in a forest near the radio station. Jaiprakash gathered his team and headed toward the forest. But the story now takes us to Bombay, where two petty criminals named Babu and Raju were planning something much bigger than ordinary theft. They had recently robbed a man in a cinema hall, but his wallet contained only 6 rupees. Frustrated, they decided that small-time theft was useless. They wanted to make one big move. The next day, Babu stole a car and took Raju to a house. They entered the house expecting it to be empty, but unexpectedly found an elderly man inside. They tied him up and began searching for valuables. Then Raju realized that Babu had disappeared. When Raju finally came outside, he discovered the shocking truth. Babu had kidnapped a teenage boy. He explained that stealing valuables would not make them enough money, so they had decided to demand a huge ransom instead. At the same time, back in Delhi, Jaiprakash's search of the forest was interrupted by heavy rain. A constable informed him that 2 children had reportedly been seen taking a lift on a motorcycle. Believing they might have gone somewhere else, the police stopped the search. The following morning, a shepherd entered the forest and discovered a blood-covered shoe. Nearby, he found the bodies of 2 children. They were Suman and Sahil. Their bodies were covered with horrific injuries. Jaiprakash rushed to the scene and was devastated to realize that the bodies were only a few hundred meters away from the area where the police had stopped searching the previous night. Near the bodies, investigators also discovered a broken car headlight. This raised a crucial question. If the children had been seen on a motorcycle, why was a car involved? The investigation had just taken a completely unexpected turn. Part 2. The discovery of the children's bodies completely changed the case. When the SP arrived at the crime scene, Jaiprakash explained everything he had found so far. The SP raised an important question. If the children had been kidnapped, the criminals could have demanded a large ransom. So, why would anyone kill them so brutally? Meanwhile, the media had already reached the forest. The SP ordered the officers not to reveal anything without solid evidence. Ashok also arrived at the scene. The moment he saw the bodies of his children, he completely broke down. Soon afterward, a man named Dr. Jaspreet Singh Bhalak came to the police station. He claimed that he had given Suman and Sahil a lift the previous day. Bhala explained that he had been leaving his clinic to attend a medical conference when the children stopped him and asked for a lift. At first, he refused, but Sahil repeatedly requested him. Eventually, Bhala agreed and dropped them at a bus stop before leaving. Jaiprakash investigated the route and discovered that 3 different buses traveled from that stop toward the radio station. He ordered the police to investigate all 3. After the post-mortem, the bodies were handed over to Ashok. When he brought them home, Mona could barely accept that the bodies belonged to her children. The shock was so severe that she seemed unable to process what had happened. Eventually, Suman and Sahil were cremated. Meanwhile, 6 days earlier in Bombay, Babu and Rajo were holding the kidnapped teenage boy inside a slum. Rajo called the boy's father and demanded a ransom of 1 lakh rupees, instructing him to leave the money at a specific location. Later, the boy asked Rajo to take him to the toilet. Rajo took him near the railway tracks and turned away to give him privacy. But the toilet excuse was only a trick. The boy suddenly started running. Rajo quickly chased him and caught him. At another location, Babu was waiting for the ransom money. When the boy's father arrived and left the bag, Babu grabbed it. But undercover police officers immediately surrounded him. Babu was physically powerful. He pushed the officers away and escaped into an area where clothes were being washed and dried. He threw wet sheets at the officers, making them struggle through the hanging clothes. This gave him enough time to escape and reunite with Rajo. However, Babu was furious because the boy's father had involved the police. He pulled out a knife and wanted to kill the boy. Rajo tried to stop him. Babu suddenly smashed a glass bottle against Rajo's head. Rajo fought back and grabbed Babu by the throat. Babu begged for forgiveness, and Rajo eventually released him. But the situation became even more horrifying. The frightened child continued crying. Babu lost control and repeatedly stabbed the boy with a knife, killing him. Even Babu seemed shocked by what he had done. Realizing that staying in Bombay had become dangerous, Babu and Rajo fled to Delhi. Back in Delhi, forensic doctor Vishwajit examined the children's bodies. He explained that Sahil had been attacked with a heavy, sharp weapon, possibly a sword. There were marks on his hands and shoulders, suggesting that his body had been dragged. Suman had been struck from behind on the head with a heavy object, possibly a rod. The doctors were also investigating whether Suman had suffered sexual assault. The broken headlight found near the bodies was examined using forensic chemicals. The investigation revealed that it belonged to a green-colored car. Jaiprakash immediately ordered Javed to search for a green vehicle, but the car could not be found. 2 days passed without any major lead. The SP finally decided to remove Jaiprakash from the case and hand it over to Inspector Chauhan. Jaiprakash pleaded for just 24 more hours, but the pressure was enormous because 2 children had been brutally murdered and their father was a senior army officer. The SP refused. Jaiprakash was ordered to hand over the case the next morning. However, he was not ready to give up. He still had 1 night. So he returned to the forest, determined to find one final clue. Jaiprakash returned to the forest one last time before the case was officially handed over. When he reached the place where Suman and Sahil's bodies had been found, he saw Ashok standing there. Ashok had come to the forest because he could not stop thinking about his children. He shared his pain with Jaiprakash, and for a moment, the 2 men simply stood there in silence. Later, Jaiprakash began driving back in his jeep. Suddenly, an animal crossed the road. He slammed on the brakes and stopped. When he stepped outside and shone his light into the darkness, something reflected back. Jaiprakash walked toward it. Hidden inside the forest was a green-colored car. This was the same car that had been used to bring Suman and Sahil into the forest. The vehicle was immediately taken for forensic examination. Investigators found 4 sets of fingerprints inside the car. 2 belonged to Suman and Sahil, while the other 2 belonged to unknown people. 1 fingerprint, however, had almost been wiped away and was badly blurred. The police also discovered that the car had been stolen, but the biggest discovery was still waiting for them. Inside the vehicle, they found a sword. The sword was extremely old, dating back to before India's independence. More importantly, a name was engraved on it: Mohanlal Sodi Churanwala. This name suddenly became the biggest lead in the entire investigation. Because of this breakthrough, the SP immediately reinstated Jaiprakash on the case. But he was given a strict deadline. He had only 48 hours to solve the case. Meanwhile, 4 days earlier in Delhi, Babu and Rajo were struggling to survive. They had very little money and went to an ashram to get food. Rajo was still angry with Babu because of everything that had happened in Bombay. Babu repeatedly apologized. Eventually, he became emotional and told Rajo about his childhood. He explained that he had always been short-tempered. His father had died when he was young, and later his only brother died in a kitchen fire. While trying to save his brother, Babu's own hand had also been badly burned. He showed Rajo the scar on his hand and began crying. Seeing Babu's regret, Rajo finally forgave him. Rajo then remembered that he had a friend named Pyar who worked at a 5-star hotel as a singer. He believed Pyar might help them find a place to stay. The two men went to the hotel. Despite being called a 5-star hotel, the place was actually running cheap entertainment shows. Pyar had a strange but impressive talent. He could sing in 2 different voices. One side of his appearance was styled like a man, while the other side looked like a woman. He would switch between male and female voices while singing, entertaining the audience. Among the audience was a man named Balu. Balu was constantly trying to get close to Pyar. Babu made jokes about Pyar's unusual performance. After the show, Rajo explained their situation to Pyar. Pyar agreed to help and took them to his rented house. While drinking, Pyar complained about Balu and described him as the spoiled son of a wealthy father. Babu immediately became interested. He asked Pyar whether Balu's family was rich. Pyar explained that Balu's father, Mohanlal Churanwala, had made a huge fortune selling medicines during the British era. He had even owned a large mansion. Babu and Rajo immediately realized that Balu might have plenty of money. Since Balu was also a heavy drinker, they assumed that robbing his house would be easy. So, they took Pyar with them and went to Balu's home. Balu opened the door and was happy to see Pyar. But Babu and Rajo suddenly entered and attacked him. They beat Balu badly. Seeing the violence, Pyar became frightened and ran away. Babu and Rajo then searched the house for valuables. Unfortunately, they found very little. Rajo became frustrated and silently blamed Pyare. Then, Babu noticed several swords belonging to Mohanlal Churanwala. He decided to steal them along with whatever other small valuables they could find. When they stepped outside, they noticed a green car. Babu immediately decided to steal that too. They took the car and escaped. Meanwhile, Jaiprakash continued investigating the name engraved on the sword. He went to Chandni Chowk and asked about Mohanlal Sodi Churanwala. A shopkeeper explained that Mohanlal had died many years earlier. During the British era, he had made a fortune selling medicines. His son Balu was still alive, but Balu had become known for his unusual behavior and his interest in young men. The shopkeeper also revealed that Balu had not been seen for several days. This gave Jaiprakash another reason to investigate Balu. At that moment, forensic doctor Vishwajit called Jaiprakash back to the green car. The investigation was about to reveal an even bigger connection between the vehicle, the killers, and the children. Forensic doctor Vishwajit showed Jaiprakash the green car in detail. There were blood and fiber marks on the rear windshield. According to the forensic evidence, Suman and Sahil had been sitting in the back seat, while the attackers had repeatedly struck them from the front. But there was another shocking discovery. Apart from the children's blood, the blood of one of the killers was also found inside the car. This meant that Suman or Sahil might have managed to injure one of their attackers during the struggle. The amount of blood suggested that the killer had suffered a serious injury. Jaiprakash immediately realized that the injured criminal might have gone to a hospital for treatment. The police began checking nearby hospitals. Eventually, one doctor remembered that 2 men had come to the hospital a few days earlier. Both had serious injuries, so the doctor had sent them for x-rays. The x-rays were completed, but the 2 men left without waiting for the reports or receiving further treatment. The doctor remembered some details. One man was tall, while the other was around 5 feet 5 inches tall. One of them also had a burn mark on his hand. What made the doctor suspicious was that their stories kept changing. First, they said they had been injured in a fight. Later, they claimed that the injuries had happened in a car accident. Because their injuries looked suspicious, the doctor had informed a constable stationed at the hospital. Jaiprakash went outside and questioned the constable. He asked whether the incident had been officially recorded. The constable admitted that he had not recorded it. The two men had repeatedly requested him not to involve the police. They had claimed that they were poor and did not want to get involved in legal trouble. Jaiprakash became furious and strongly reprimanded the constable. The constable then revealed that he had written down some information, including the names and addresses given by the two men. Jaiprakash knew that the suspects had probably given fake names and addresses, but he decided to investigate anyway. A search warrant was obtained and the police reached the address. The entire house was empty. However, Jaiprakash discovered a sword inside. The name Mohanlal Sodi Churanwala was engraved on it. Jaiprakash immediately understood that the suspects had either stayed there or had stolen the swords from this location. Meanwhile, reporter Nisar was conducting her own investigation. She eventually found a milkman who had witnessed the attack on the children. The day of the murder had been extremely rainy and the road was almost deserted. The milkman had seen Suman and Sahil inside the car, crying and desperately shouting for help. Although he was alone on his bicycle, he still tried to help them. But the attackers drove the car directly over his leg. His leg was badly injured and the attackers escaped. Even after that, the milkman did not give up. He somehow returned home and asked his brother to inform the police. He had also called the emergency helpline 4 times, but nobody responded. Nisar thanked him for trying to help the children. Meanwhile, Jaiprakash questioned the landlord of the house connected to the suspects. At the hospital, the 2 injured men had given the names Mohan Kumar and Pyare Kumar. The landlord revealed something interesting. He said that Pyare Kumar and Mohan Kumar were actually the same person. He had rented the house to Pyare. Jaiprakash had sketches prepared from the descriptions given at the hospital. When he showed the sketches to the landlord, the man said that neither of them looked like Pyare. So, Jaiprakash ordered another sketch of Pyare to be prepared. The landlord also revealed that Pyare worked at a bar near the house. The police then began searching for Daniram, the young man who was known to have a connection with Balu. When Jaiprakash questioned Daniram, the young man became uncomfortable. The police then took him to Balu's house. The place was completely destroyed. Babu and Rajjo had robbed the house, leaving everything scattered. There was also a terrible smell coming from inside. Following the smell, the police eventually discovered Balu's dead body. Balu had no close family. Because society had rejected him, nobody had even noticed that he had disappeared. Daniram told Jaiprakash that he had last met Balu around 10 to 12 days earlier. He also told the police about a restaurant where Balu frequently went to drink. At the same time, another police team located Payar's bar. Jaiprakash immediately went there. The bar manager recognized Payar from the sketch and confirmed that Payar used to perform there. He also revealed that a few days earlier, 2 of Payar's friends had come and taken him away. Jaiprakash showed him the sketches of the 2 suspects. The manager immediately recognized them. They were Babu and Raju. Ashok had hired a private investigator to obtain the complete forensic report of Suman and Sahil. When he finally received the report and read it, he was completely shattered. The report revealed that Suman had been sexually assaulted before her death. The discovery made the tragedy even more horrifying. Meanwhile, Jaiprakash learned that Pierre was currently being held in a police lockup. He immediately went there to question him. Pierre had been arrested 3 days earlier from the Ridge area. During interrogation, Pierre revealed that Babu and Rajjo were responsible for Balu's murder. He said that he had run away during the murder because he was terrified. However, 3 days earlier, Babu and Rajjo had tracked Pierre down and abducted him. They took him to an isolated location because they wanted revenge. Babu repeatedly provoked Rajjo and encouraged him to kill Pierre. Suddenly, they heard the laughter of a young couple nearby. The couple had come there to spend some private time together. The boy went to buy ice cream, leaving his girlfriend alone. Babu immediately grabbed the girl and covered her mouth. He told Pierre that they had killed Balu because of him, so now Pierre had to kill someone in return. Babu handed Pierre a sword and ordered him to kill the girl. But Pierre was terrified. He had never killed anyone before and could not bring himself to do it. Until this point, all the murders had been committed by Babu. Raju had never actually killed anyone. Now, Raju also wanted to prove that he was capable of killing. But before anything could happen, the girl's boyfriend realized that something was wrong. He ran away and brought a constable with him. As soon as the police arrived, Babu and Raju released the girl and escaped in their green car. Pierre, however, could not escape. He was arrested. During questioning, Pierre identified Babu and Raju from their sketches. When Jaiprakash asked him about Suman and Sahil, Pierre said he knew nothing about their murder. He also had no idea where Babu and Raju were currently hiding. However, he gave the police one important clue. Raju had a sister living in Sonipat. Jaiprakash immediately gathered his force and headed there. After searching for some time, the police reached Raju's sister's house. Raju's sister, her husband, and their daughter told Jaiprakash that Raju had stayed with them for the previous 2 days. But that morning, he had suddenly left without telling anyone where he was going. When Jaiprakash revealed that Raju was wanted in a murder case, his sister refused to believe it. She said Raju was extremely innocent and was even frightened by cockroaches. According to her, he could never murder anyone. Jaiprakash noticed that Raju's niece seemed extremely nervous. Instead of creating more trouble, he left the house. The reason for the girl's fear would become clear later. 3 days earlier, Babu had been driving the green car while badly injured. Raju was sitting beside him and was also injured. Eventually, Babu became too weak to continue driving. He stopped the car in the forest. This was the same place where Jaiprakash later discovered the green vehicle. Raju had no other option, so he took Babu to a hospital. The next morning, when Babu regained consciousness, he became angry with Raju. He believed that it would have been better to die without treatment than to go to a hospital. The doctor asked Babu how he had been injured. Babu claimed that it was because of a car accident. But Raju had already told the doctor that they had been injured in a fight. The conflicting stories made the doctor suspicious. Since it could become a police matter, the two men decided to leave the hospital. But they encountered a constable. They begged him not to involve them in a police case, claiming that they were poor and had already suffered enough. The constable eventually believed them. When he asked their names and addresses, they did not reveal their real identities. Instead, they gave the names and address of Pierre. After leaving, Babu put Raju on a bus and sent him to his sister's house. He also gave Raju the address and phone number of his hideout so they could contact each other later. This explained why Raju had been staying at his sister's house. He told his family that he worked in the film industry and had injured his hand during a shooting. His sister and niece believed him. The following day, Raju was eating fried food with his niece when he saw a newspaper report about Suman and Sahil. He immediately became frightened. He called Babu and told him about the news. But Babu did not take it seriously. Raju, however, was terrified and began suspecting everyone around him. That night, he decided to return to Bombay. His niece suddenly told him that she wanted to go with him because she also wanted to work in films. She even showed him some of her photographs. But Raju reacted strangely. He became distant and harsh, warning her that the film industry would ruin her life. He then left. This was the reason Raju's niece had looked so frightened when Jaiprakash visited the house. Meanwhile, Jaiprakash continued searching for Raju. Then he received information that Raju's motorcycle had been seen near a roadside restaurant. He immediately rushed there. But once again, Raju had escaped. Jaiprakash returned disappointed. And now another problem was waiting for him. The following morning, the case was scheduled to be handed over to Inspector Chauhan. The case was becoming more complicated with every passing hour. Jayaprakash had very little time left before the investigation was supposed to be handed over to Inspector Chauhan. Meanwhile, Nisar had learned through her sources that Babu and Raju had previously kidnapped and murdered a child in Bombay. She decided to tell Jayaprakash about it. Although Nisar and Jayaprakash had once been romantically involved, their professional responsibilities had created distance between them. Still, Nisar put their personal differences aside and shared the information because she wanted to help solve the case. Shortly afterward, ASE Javd came to Jayaprakash and told him that an officer from Bombay had been repeatedly trying to contact him. Jayaprakash immediately went to the station and connected the call. The officer, S.I. Gupte, revealed a shocking detail. Babu and Raju had kidnapped a boy in Bombay and murdered him. During the kidnapping, the police had almost caught Babu, but he had somehow managed to escape. According to those sources, Babu had returned to Bombay. Jayaprakash immediately understood that this information could be extremely important. If Babu had returned to Bombay, there was a possibility that the police could track him there. But before Jayaprakash could act, he had to understand whether Babu and Raju were also responsible for the murders of Suman and Sahil. The evidence was beginning to connect everything. The stolen green car was connected to the children's murder. The sword found inside the car carried the name Mohanlal Sodhi Churanwala. Balu, Mohanlal's son, had been murdered. Babu and Raju had robbed Balu's house and stolen the swords. Pyare had identified both men. Forensic evidence had also confirmed that one of the killers had been injured inside the car. And now the Bombay police were confirming that the same two men had already been involved in kidnapping and murder. Jayaprakash realized that he could no longer treat the Delhi murders as an isolated case. There was clearly a larger criminal chain connecting Bombay and Delhi. Meanwhile, Raju was still trying to escape from the police. He had become increasingly nervous after seeing the newspaper reports about Suman and Sahil. He knew that the police were getting closer. Babu, however, remained much more confident. He had already escaped from the police once and believed he could do it again. But Raju was different. He was frightened, confused, and increasingly disturbed by everything that had happened. The two men had started as petty thieves, stealing small things for quick money. But their crimes had gradually become much more serious. First came theft, then kidnapping, then murder. And now they were connected to the brutal killing of two innocent children. Jayaprakash understood that catching them quickly was the only way to prevent another murder. He began studying every clue again. The green car, the old sword, the hospital records, the fake names, the rented house, PR's testimony, Balu's murder, the child murdered in Bombay, and the blood found inside the car. Each clue pointed toward Babu and Raju. But one major question still remained unanswered. Why did they kill Suman and Sahil? If their motive had been robbery or kidnapping, they could have demanded ransom. But instead, the children were brutally murdered, and Suman had suffered an even more horrifying fate. Jayaprakash knew that there had to be another reason behind the crime. At the same time, the deadline was getting closer. The following morning, Inspector Chauhan was supposed to take control of the investigation. Jayaprakash had only a few hours remaining. He was determined not to let the case slip away. Meanwhile, Nisar continued working independently. She knew that if Babu and Raju had really returned to Bombay, the local police might be able to track them faster than the Delhi police. The information from S.E. Gupta therefore became extremely important. If the Bombay police could locate Babu, Jayaprakash could finally get the answers he needed. But there was another possibility. If Babu had returned to Bombay, where was Raju? And more importantly, was Raju still with him? The investigation had now reached a critical point. Two innocent children were dead. Balu was dead. Another child had already been murdered in Bombay, and the suspects were still free. Jayaprakash had only one goal left: find Babu and Raju before they could disappear again. Part 7. The information from S.E. Gupta gave Jayaprakash a completely new direction. According to the Bombay police, Babu and Raju had previously kidnapped a young boy and murdered him. During that kidnapping, the police had almost caught Babu, but he somehow managed to escape. Now, their sources had reported that Babu had returned to Bombay. Jaiprakash immediately realized how important this information was. If Babu was really back in Bombay, there was a chance that the local police could locate him before he disappeared again. But one question still remained. Where was Raju? Jaiprakash knew that Babu and Raju had been working together, but their personalities were completely different. Babu was aggressive and fearless, while Raju was frightened by the consequences of their crimes. At this point, Jaiprakash started connecting all the evidence again. The green car had been stolen. The same car had been used to transport Suman and Sahil. The children's blood was found inside the vehicle. One of the killers had also been injured. A sword carrying the name Mohanlal Sodi Churanwala had been discovered inside the car. Babu and Raju had stolen swords from Balu's house. Balu had later been found murdered. Pyare had identified Babu and Raju. And now, Bombay police had confirmed that the same men had already been involved in another kidnapping and murder. Everything was beginning to point toward them. But Jaiprakash still could not understand one thing. If Babu and Raju had kidnapped Suman and Sahil, why did they kill them instead of demanding ransom? The children's deaths were far more brutal than a simple kidnapping gone wrong. And Suman had suffered an even more horrifying fate. Jaiprakash suspected that there was another motive behind the crime, something that had not yet been discovered. Meanwhile, Nisar continued following the case independently. She knew that the information from Bombay could become the key to solving everything. If Babu had really returned there, the Bombay police might have a better chance of finding him, because they already knew about his previous crimes. Jaiprakash immediately began preparing to coordinate with S.E. Gupte. But time was running out. The following morning, Inspector Chauhan was supposed to officially take over the case. Jaiprakash had only a few hours left to produce results. He went through every clue once again. The hospital records, the fake names used by the suspects, the rented house, the sword, Balu's murder, PR's statement, the green car, the blood of the killer, the eyewitnesses, and the previous kidnapping in Bombay. Everything pointed toward Babu and Raju, but there was still no confirmed location. Jaiprakash understood that finding them was not enough. He needed to catch them alive. Only then could he discover the real reason behind Suman and Sahil's murder. Meanwhile, Raju was becoming increasingly nervous. After seeing the newspaper reports about the children's murder, he had started suspecting everyone around him. He knew the police were getting closer. Babu, however, remained confident. He had already escaped the police several times and believed he could escape again. But Jaiprakash was now determined not to give him another opportunity. The investigation had already crossed state boundaries. What had started as the disappearance of 2 school children in Delhi had now become a case involving Bombay criminals, kidnapping, murder, stolen cars, an old sword, and a mysterious connection to the Churanwala family. And now, for the first time, the police had a strong possibility of locating one of the main suspects. Babu was reportedly back in Bombay. Jaiprakash knew this could be his final chance. If Babu escaped again, the entire investigation could collapse. So he prepared to follow the Bombay lead. But before he could reach Babu, another shocking truth was waiting to come out. The connection between Babu, Raju, Balu, Pyare, and the murdered children was about to become much clearer. Part 8. Nisar's information had now given Jaiprakash another important lead. She had learned that Babu and Raju were also involved in the murder of a boy in Bombay. She immediately shared this information with Jaiprakash. Soon afterward, SI Jaft informed Jaiprakash that SI Gupta from Bombay had been repeatedly trying to contact him. Jaiprakash immediately went to the police station and connected the call. Gupte told him that Babu and Raju had kidnapped a boy in Bombay and later killed him. After the kidnapping, the police had almost caught Babu, but he somehow managed to escape. Now, their sources had reported that Babu had returned to Bombay. This information was extremely important because Jaiprakash believed Babu could be the key to solving the Delhi murders. At this point, the investigation had already established several connections. The green car had been used to transport Suman and Sahil. The car contained their blood as well as the blood of one of the killers. The old sword found inside the car carried the name Mohanlal Sodi Churanwala. Babu and Raju had stolen swords from Balu's house. Balu had been murdered. Pyare had identified Babu and Rajo. And now, Bombay police had confirmed that the same men had previously kidnapped and murdered a child. Jaiprakash began to suspect that these were not separate crimes. There was a clear connection between everything. But one major question remained unanswered. If Babu and Rajo had kidnapped Suman and Sahil, why did they kill them instead of demanding ransom? In the Bombay case, they had demanded money from the child's father. But in the case of Suman and Sahil, there was no ransom call. Instead, the children had been brutally attacked and murdered. Jaiprakash also knew that Suman had suffered horrific violence before her death. This suggested that the motive behind the Delhi murders could be completely different. Meanwhile, Raju had become extremely frightened. After seeing the newspaper report about Suman and Sahil, he realized that the police were getting closer to them. He started looking suspiciously at everyone around him. Babu, however, remained confident. He believed that he could escape the police again if necessary. But Raju was no longer comfortable with their criminal life. What had started as small-time theft had gradually turned into kidnapping and murder. Now, 2 innocent children had also become victims. Jaiprakash went through every piece of evidence again. The stolen car, the old sword, the hospital records, the fake names, the rented house, Balu's murder, PR's statement, the eyewitnesses, the blood found inside the car, and finally, the Bombay kidnapping case. Everything was pointing toward Babu and Raju. But Jaiprakash still did not know where they were. The deadline was also getting closer. Inspector Chauhan was supposed to take over the case the next morning. Jaiprakash knew that if he failed to make progress before then, he might lose control of the investigation. He therefore decided to follow the Bombay lead immediately. If Babu had really returned to Bombay, S.I. Gupta and his team might be able to locate him. But there was another question that worried Jaiprakash. Where was Raju? If Babu had gone back to Bombay, perhaps Raju had gone with him. And if both men were together again, they could disappear before the police reached them. Jaiprakash now had only one objective: find Babu and Raju before they could escape again. The investigation had started with 2 missing children in Delhi. Now it had expanded into a much bigger case involving murder, kidnapping, stolen vehicles, and also Balu's death and a criminal connection between Delhi and Bombay. And the biggest breakthrough yet was that one of the main suspects was believed to be back in Bombay. Jaiprakash knew this might be his final opportunity to catch him. Part 9. According to S.E. Gupta, Babu had returned to Bombay. Gupta told Jaiprakash that if they wanted to catch Babu, he should immediately come to Bombay. Since Babu had returned there, Raju would most likely follow him. But there was a serious problem. The case was going to be transferred to Inspector Chauhan the next morning. Once that happened, Jaiprakash would no longer have the freedom to investigate the case on his own. Jaiprakash asked the head constable if there was still a train available for Bombay. The answer was yes. Without wasting another second, Jaiprakash decided to leave for Bombay. Meanwhile, the story reveals something disturbing about Babu's childhood. Babu's real name was Kumar. Around 12 years earlier, when he was still a schoolboy, there were endless complaints against him. He was not an ordinary troublesome child. His behavior was extremely violent and disturbing. Sometimes he would put marbles into another child's mouth. At other times, he would deliberately hurt other children. Teachers constantly complained about him, but nobody seemed capable of controlling his violent nature. As Babu grew older, his behavior became even more dangerous. This explains why he had developed such a brutal personality. Back in the present, Jaiprakash boarded the train to Bombay. His only objective was to reach the city before Babu could escape again. Meanwhile, Babu and Raju were also trying to stay ahead of the police. Raju was becoming increasingly nervous. He knew that the murder of Suman and Sahil had brought enormous attention from the police, and he was afraid that they would eventually be caught. Babu, however, remained calm. He had escaped from the police many times before and believed that he could do it again. As Jaiprakash traveled toward Bombay, the police were already trying to gather information about the 2 fugitives. They knew Babu was dangerous. They also knew that Raju was less aggressive but was still involved in their crimes. The biggest advantage Jaiprakash had was that Babu and Raju were now moving around under pressure. They had no safe place to stay. They had already used fake names. They had abandoned the stolen green car. They had left behind weapons and other evidence. And the police now knew their faces. Jaiprakash understood that Babu might try to change his appearance. He therefore warned the local police to remain alert. Meanwhile, Babu had already started thinking about how to disappear again. He knew that Bombay was no longer safe. The police there already knew about his previous kidnapping case. If they caught him, his connection to the Delhi murders could also be exposed. Raju was in an even worse state. He was carrying the guilt and fear of everything they had done. He had witnessed Babu kill the kidnapped child in Bombay. He had seen Balu's murder. He had watched Babu attack innocent people. And now the two children in Delhi had also been killed. Raju knew that things had gone far beyond ordinary theft. There was no going back. Meanwhile, Jaiprakash finally reached Bombay. But Babu and Raju were not waiting for him. They were already planning their next escape. The police began searching for every possible location connected to the two criminals. Their photographs and descriptions were circulated. The authorities were also warned that Babu might change his appearance. Jaiprakash knew that catching them would not be easy. Babu was unpredictable and extremely dangerous. Raju was frightened, but could still make desperate decisions to protect himself. And somewhere in Bombay, the two men were preparing to disappear once again. Jaiprakash's journey to Bombay had begun with one simple objective: find Babu and Raju. But what he did not yet know was that the chase would soon move from Bombay to another city. And before the police could finally catch them, Babu would once again manage to stay one step ahead. Part 11. After finally capturing Babu and Raju, Jaiprakash returned to Delhi. Now the biggest question remained: what had actually happened to Suman and Sahil? The truth slowly came out during the investigation. On the day of the incident, Suman and Sahil had taken a lift in Babu and Raju's green car. At first, the two criminals had no intention of killing them, but things quickly became violent. Raju pulled out the sword and attacked Sahil, badly injuring his hand. Seeing blood coming from her brother's hand, Suman became terrified. She tore a piece of her dupatta and tied it around Sahil's injury. Suman repeatedly begged the criminals to let them go, but Babu ignored her. While they were driving, Suman noticed a milkman on the road and desperately shouted for help. The milkman tried to come toward the car, but Babu deliberately drove over him and escaped. The helpless children then fought back. Suman managed to grab the sword and tried to attack the criminals, but she could not cause them serious harm. Babu eventually drove the car deep into the forest and stopped. What happened next was horrific. Babu sexually assaulted Suman while Sahil was still alive. When Sahil realized what was happening, he gathered whatever strength he had left and fought back, desperately trying to protect his sister. He told Suman to run away, but Babu stopped her. Sahil was already severely weakened because he had lost a large amount of blood. Raju attacked him again, and Sahil collapsed. Raju dragged Sahil's body away, but Sahil was still alive. Seeing this, Raju attacked him again with the sword and finally killed him. Meanwhile, Babu had already assaulted Suman. He then tried to convince Raju to do the same thing. Raju refused. This led to a fight between the two criminals. At that moment, Suman suddenly attacked both of them with a piece of wood. She then ran toward her brother, but Sahil was already dead. Suman collapsed beside her brother's body and began crying. Babu then came toward her and struck her hard on the head. Suman was killed as well. The truth explained why the children had suffered such terrible injuries and why there had been blood from the criminals inside the green car. After solving the case and capturing the criminals, Jaiprakash's suspension was cancelled. He was also allowed to appear for the higher rank examination. He passed the examination and was promoted to inspector. Then came the day of the court's verdict. A huge crowd gathered outside the courthouse. Everyone was demanding justice for the two innocent children. The public had only one demand: the criminals must be sentenced to death. Inside the courtroom, Ashok and Mona were also present. The court carefully considered the evidence against Babu and Raju. The murders, the forensic evidence, the witnesses, the stolen car, the sword, and the statements connected the two men directly to the crime. Finally, the court announced its verdict. Babu and Rajo were sentenced to death. Ashok and Mona sat silently in the courtroom as they finally received justice for their children. Although nothing could bring Suman and Sahil back, the punishment gave their parents at least a small amount of satisfaction. Their entire lives had changed because of one seemingly harmless decision. If Suman and Sahil had not accepted a lift from strangers that day, their fate might have been completely different. The story ends with an important warning. Never accept a lift from an unknown person, and parents should teach children to stay away from strangers. Sometimes, one small mistake can completely destroy a person's life. So, always remain alert around strangers, take care of your family, and most importantly, stay safe.